Hi, I'm Lauren Davidson, and I'll be discussing how being biracial or mixed has affected my life. Okay. About 20-some years ago, a boy from Trinidad and a girl from Korea met each other by chance and fell in love in the magical, magical land of Norman, Oklahoma. They both crossed seas to study in America and ended up at the University of Oklahoma. So my parents, how they met, my dad was actually moving a piano for his professor, and he was lifting it with his brother and his friends. And then my mom just strolls in looking all cute, and he thinks she's so pretty, he just drops the piano and sprints after her. So he probably wasn't hired again, but that's okay. So after college, my mother went to the Baylor Law School, and my dad stayed in Oklahoma working as an engineer. But eventually, even though they lived apart, their love stayed strong, and eventually my dad moved down to Texas to be with my mother, and he became a chiropractor. So soon they were married, and they had their first child, my older brother, Sean. And this was the first time either sides of my family had married outside of their race. Okay. My older brother and I are closer in ways that maybe most siblings don't have the chance to be. He's the only other Blasian that I know, which is Black and Asian, if you didn't pick that up. Okay. So he's the only other person that truly understands what it's like to be me. We can relate to each other in ways that even my parents can't. So in this bottom right corner, you'll see how my brother was going through his karate phase, his I want to be a ninja when I grow up phase. So he was learning karate and he became obsessed. He started doing his karate moves just like wherever. Like in the car, karate moves. In the grocery store, karate moves. On the street, karate moves. Just all the time, you guys. So one vacation, he decides, we're at the hotel, let's do karate moves. And just started going at it. Okay, Sean, that's fine. So the hotel clerk, being a very nice person, and probably as most adults, thought that this was adorable. But I had come in later, and so the hotel clerk, he started joining in with my brother. So I came in later, and I see this grown man fighting my brother. And I was extremely afraid. So I just sprinted over and yelled, "Get away from my brother!" And I just started kicking him in the shins. And I soon joined karate, as you can see me down there. And we've been each other's protectors ever since. Okay, let me change this slide. Okay. So being biracial gives me a very unique perspective on life. Because both my parents are immigrants, they are both very passionate about their cultures from their homeland. And they both pretty much identify with their homeland as opposed to being American. So this creates a very culturally blended home. For example, we'll see here, you'll see my brother and I in traditional Korean clothing. So one night we may be dressed in traditional Korean clothing, ready for a bowing ceremony. And then another night, we may be at a Trinidadian carnival festival called Carnival, which is, think like Brazil's carnival. Think that. And then one night, I could have Trinidadian food, and the next night, I could have Korean food. So like in the Venn diagram here, I am truly in the middle. I feel equally pulled by both sides, and I really can't identify with either one more. So this is a beaver, that's a duck, and I am the platypus. The most frequently asked question, aside from what is your name, that I get is, what are you? This may sound rude, but I'm usually asked these types of questions out of just pure curiosity, not hostility at all. Another one I get is, where are you from? But really, where are you from? And that's okay too. Or they want to play, let me guess your race. And that's always fun. The most common answers I get are Filipino? No? Okay. Native American? No? Hawaiian? No, but I'm close, right? No? Okay. Ooh, trick question. You're just an Asian with a very bad tan. But my favorite question of all is, are you more Asian or are you more black? I love this question personally because the answer to this question could vary from person to person. Because of the way I was raised and because of how both of my parents try to instill their cultures in my life, I feel equally Asian and black. Well, pretty much American, but equally Asian and black. But another biracial person may feel pulled towards another side, and that's really just because of how they were raised. It depends entirely on upbringing. Okay. Being mixed has made me truly, truly believe in the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. As we just saw, many people try to guess the type of person I was solely based on how I looked. Another thing that being mixed makes me do is appreciating differences in opinion. Because both of my parents and my brother and I all grew up in different countries, like my dad, he grew up in Trinidad, my mom grew up in Korea, and I and my brother grew up in America. So we all have very different perspectives. So this can make for very heated dinner conversations. For example, one summer, all me and my brother wanted to do was just chill. We just wanted to Netflix all day. We just wanted to occasionally see our friends, play video games, and just Netflix. And one night at dinner, my dad was fed up with us. He was extremely angry. He said, "You guys don't know how to have fun. You Americans," sorry. "You Americans don't really know how to have fun. You guys just lazy and you sit around all day. When I was in Trinidad back in the day, I would swim in waterfalls, and I would climb the mountains, and I would explore the caves, and I would sit in the sea and eat mangoes, and I would even shoot the birds with my slingshot that I made by hand." And we were like, "Okay, that's great, Dad." And we moved on. And then the next morning, my dad just whisked away me and my brother. And he took us to a lake, and we had no idea why. So we just drove out to a more secluded part of the lake, and he's like, "Okay, get out of the car." And we're like, "Okay." So we're standing outside of the car, and he has a very suspicious look on his face. He's pulling a soft smile, and we don't know why. So and I can tell he's holding something behind his back, and he suddenly just pulls out 3 slingshots and a ball of metal pellets, and a bag of metal pellets, sorry. And he's like, "We're going to shoot the birds," and starts shooting in the trees. I ran back into the car and ducked for cover, but my brother just sort of stood there confused. So after a little bit, my dad can tell this is not working, they're not catching on, we'll just take them home. So he took us back home, and obviously my brother and I tattled on him. We told my mom, "Oh my God, Mom, you'll never believe what Dad made us do today." And so at dinner, and we knew she was going to be on our side. So, of course, she answers, "Oh my God, Richard, I can't believe you made them waste their whole day by going to the lake and shooting at the trees. You know they don't want to do that." And we were like, yes, Mom is on our side. And then she changed on us. She turned. Because then she continued, they should have been doing their summer reading all day long. And I knew it was the end. I knew. And that was the Korean side coming out in her. So, oh goodness, I forgot my place. Sorry. So sometimes, not that time, but sometimes the kids will kind of team up with Mom against Dad, or the kids will team up against my dad, or team up with my dad against my mom, or we'll all three have separate opinions and we're all battling each other. But even though our little debates don't always turn out the way I hoped, I'm thankful that I have the debates at all. Being biracial and having parents from a diverse background has made me more understanding and respectful of other people's opinions, and I love the way I was brought up. Thank you.